Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine feeding 8 people, and the total bill comes out to just 30 cents. No recipe cards, no measuring cups in sight. Just 3 basic ingredients, and this deep, almost instinctual knowledge passed down through generations in kitchens that smelled like wood smoke and rendered lard. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating source that makes a really compelling argument. These Depression-era grandmothers weren't just cooking out of pure desperation. No, they were practicing absolute, zero-waste culinary genius. So here's the core tension we're going to explore today. Whole generations literally built this country on smart, deeply nutritious meals. We're talking simple staples like bean soup and cornbread. That is, until the convenience food companies stepped in. Our source argues that the modern food industry actively convinced us to forget these foundational kitchen skills. We're going to dig into exactly how and why that happened. Let's start with Section 1, Cooking Smart, Not Poor. Okay, let's dive into this. We really need to completely reframe the narrative around what we casually label as poor food. These historical cooks, they understood their ingredients on a molecular level, and absolutely nothing went to waste. And honestly, the staggering irony here is almost funny. Think about the ultimate 1930s survival food, cornmeal mush. It was literally just water, cornmeal, and a pinch of salt. A grandmother would cool it down, slice it up nice and thick, and fry it in leftover breakfast grease. 1 pound of cornmeal fed a whole family for 3 cents. Fast forward to today, and upscale restaurants serve that exact same dish, they call it polenta, and they will happily charge you $15 a plate for it. It's amazing how basic leftover scraps were just intuitively transformed in these kitchens. And mind you, these weren't step-by-step recipes, they were reflexes. Got stale bread from yesterday? You just pour hot milk and a little pat of butter right over it, and boom, you've got milquetoast. It's like a warm, comforting hug in a bowl that got families through those incredibly lean days right before payday. Or what about unripe tomatoes right before the first frost? You don't toss them. You slice them, dredge them in cornmeal, and fry them up in bacon fat. That rich fat perfectly cuts the harsh bitterness of the unripe fruit. They turned pure survival into a crispy delicacy. Moving right along to Section 2, 3-ingredient kitchen miracles. You know, this was truly the original zero-waste cooking. Take crackling cornbread, for example. When a cook rendered lard from pork fat, there were always these little crispy bits left behind, called cracklings. Did she throw them away? Absolutely not. She folded them right back into the cornbread batter. So when it baked in the oven, those cracklings puffed up and created these incredible little pockets of crunch and deep, smoky richness. As the source puts it perfectly, literally nothing left the kitchen without doing its job. 8 cents. I really want you to let that number sink in for a second. In 1935, 8 cents was the cost to flavor an entire massive pot of pinto beans using just a single piece of salt pork. You drop it in first thing in the morning, let it simmer low and slow for 6 hours, and eventually that broth would turn silky and the beans would just melt against the back of your spoon. This was the meal that built the American South. It's just a staggering masterclass in kitchen economics. And speaking of smart economics, long before modern nutritionists started throwing around buzzy words like superfood, tenant farmers were simply walking out into their front yards with a knife to forage dandelion greens. We're talking about a completely free plant loaded with iron, calcium, and vitamins A and C. Toss those greens into a pan with some hot bacon fat and a quick splash of apple cider vinegar to wilt them down, and in under 5 minutes, you've got yourself a free, insanely nutrient-dense supper. Which brings us to Section 3, Science Validates Peasant Food. Now you might be wondering, was this actually healthy? Well, it turns out, modern research is proving these grandmothers were absolutely right all along. Back in 2017, researchers at the University of Georgia actually analyzed these traditional Depression-era meals. And their findings? Totally startling. They found that a very simple traditional Southern diet of pinto beans, salt pork, and cornbread met nearly all the daily requirements for protein, fiber, iron, calcium, and B vitamins for a full-grown adult male doing heavy manual labor. And the kicker? It did all of this for less than a dime a serving. And this highlights a really profound tragedy. The source puts it so beautifully. She was not feeding her family poorly, she was feeding them right. Think about it. We spent 50 years culturally convincing ourselves that this traditional, from-scratch diet was somehow dirty or inferior, only to end up getting remarkably sicker on the processed, convenient alternatives we replaced it with. Furthermore, a 2019 scientific study looked at split pea soup. They confirmed that just simmering a leftover ham bone with dried split peas and water for 3 hours yields a complete protein, massive dietary fiber, and essential minerals. Literally everything a human body needs to recover from a hard day of work, all extracted from what most people today would literally just toss right into the garbage can. Let's look at how this shifted in Section 4, the convenience food deception. According to our source, this massive loss of culinary knowledge wasn't just a natural accident. In the 1930s, as we've seen, families thrived on 3-ingredient scratch cooking. But the timeline shows a huge shift. The source claims that in 1953, the Campbell Soup Company reportedly hired a whole team of home economists. Their specific job? To convince American women that cooking from scratch was way too complicated, incredibly time-consuming, and actually inferior to just opening up a tin can. And it worked. By 1965, that deep generational chain of scratch cooking had largely hit a brick wall. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happened. Within a single decade, housewives traded the rich, traditional, intuitive cooking of their mothers, things like grating fresh raw potatoes for crispy pancakes or slowly simmering beans, for processed canned cream of mushroom soup. And honestly, the wildest part of this whole transition, they were aggressively sold the idea that this was progress. The source shares this incredibly poignant anecdote about a 91-year-old woman in Georgia. She raised 7 children on a zero-waste farm. This woman knew exactly how many hearty meals a single ham hock could stretch to. Yet her grandchildren, they never even learned how to boil a simple pot of beans. The quote on screen really just hits the nail on the head. That is not progress, that is a generational theft so quiet nobody noticed it happening.
Finally, we reach Section 5, Reclaiming Forgotten Kitchen Wisdom.
But hey, the good news is, it's not all lost. Let's talk about how we can actually bring this amazing sensory comfort back into our own homes. There is this undeniable, literal magic to what's called the holy trinity of poverty food: pan drippings, hot milk, and flour. By understanding how to manage just these 3 simple pantry staples, grandmothers created milk gravy. Poured over a plate of fresh biscuits, this super simple combination produced a meal that tasted like pure, absolute abundance, even on the absolute coldest, emptiest mornings. Then, of course, there is the legendary concept of pot liquor. If you don't know, this is the highly nutritious, dark, smoky broth that gets left behind after boiling greens with fat back. Nutritionists today actually call it one of the most mineral-dense preparations in all of traditional cooking. Grandma definitely didn't pour that liquid gold down the drain. She crumbled a big piece of cornbread right on top of it to soak up every last drop. It is the ultimate lesson in refusing to waste good food.
And the best part is, we can reclaim this today. In fact, I challenge you to try making just one of these historical meals this week. Make that slow-simmered bean soup with a ham bone on a Sunday afternoon. Or maybe fry up some leftover chilled cornmeal mush for breakfast. Try whisking together a quick milk gravy from your breakfast pan drippings. Personally experience that profound culinary wisdom that we were so heavily convinced to just throw away. Which leaves us with one final, important thought to ponder. Are you ready to remember what the food industry wanted you to forget? Take a moment to reconsider the true price we pay for all this modern convenience. Maybe, just maybe, it's finally time to bring the brilliant 3-ingredient genius of our grandmothers back into our modern kitchen.